I think we have already covered a very brief introduction about how Agentic AI can be implemented using n8n, right? We gave you a demo of one of the workflows which we were working on. It was primarily on the document intelligence, right, where we picked up certain snippets, some of the specimens, and we run them through the agentic workflow that we had created. And we using OCR, we were able to pick up the content, and then we were able to apply some intelligence on top of it, right? But that was kind of helping you understand what agentic can do, right? Now we want to go into depth. We will pick up n8n, which is the choice of the platform as of now. We can probably explore one more platform, but we'll decide in the due course. And maybe you can also, in based on your own organization standards, you can also pick up one of the platform. You can also do an R&D and come back into this forum and present how that particular platform works. But at this point in time, n8n is a very smart platform. It's a powerful one, right? So we have invited Trisha. Trisha, I'm not sure whether you had a chance to interact with her. Trisha is working as a developer lead in Tech Pattern, right? And she has been working on different things, and n8n and agentic is one of the areas where she's spending time on, right? So we thought maybe it will be worthwhile because you will be able to understand n8n from a practitioner standpoint. So I requested Trisha to set up a session, and here we are. So she'll be presenting the session and the content that I shared, that how we have structured this particular conversation. It is going to be a short one. We do not want to spend too many hours on this. Today, it will be more about how n8n can be installed, right? And then the basics, the different modules, and then we'll talk about a workflow which can help you understand how this is actually getting implemented, the agentic one, right? Yeah. So with that, I'll pass the handle to Trisha. Trisha, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. So, as we already know, today's session is about n8n. Now, n8n is a workflow automation tool. In simple terms, it helps us automate tasks. Instead of manually moving data from one place to another, we'll let workflows do it for us. Now, before we start using n8n, we need to talk about Docker. Now, Docker is a tool that allows us to run applications inside containers. A container packages the application along with everything else it needs to run. That means every app will behave the same way on every other machine. So first, let us start with n8n, Docker installation. I will be sure. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Sushan.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
visible. Yeah.
So to download Docker, just go head over to your browser. For Docker installation, we have Docker desktop for Windows. We also have you can directly download Docker according to your device, whether it is a Linux, Windows, or Mac. I already have Docker installed in my desktop, so I'll show you how Docker actually looks like. So this is our Docker. These are our containers. Now this container, I'll just close it. Now you might ask why we are using Docker for n8n. Now n8n can be installed in our system via three means. One, we have the n8n desktop. Second, we have n8n cloud, and third, we have n8n via Docker. Now n8n desktop, it is free of cost, but it does not allow us any very It does not give us very much flexibility with our workflows. We are limited in terms of how far we can go with our workflows. Second is n8n Cloud. Though n8n Cloud is it is provided by n8n to us, we have to pay a monthly cost to access it. But again, it also does not allow us to go very far with our workflows. We have limited control over our resources. Whereas while using Docker, we have complete control over our workflows. Also, it keeps the installation isolated from our main operating system and makes it incredibly easy for us to update or move to a different server whenever if we want to do that afterwards. So that is why we'll be using Docker. Now, there are two means by which we can use n8n via Docker. One is simply using the terminal. For that, let me open a new terminal and show you. This is the command we run, and n8n automatically runs. Now, here we are defining what port n8n should run on. 5678 is the default port for n8n. You can also use a different port if you wish. And as soon as we run it, the process will take, and we can start it in our local host at the port 5678. The other way is by using a console. Though the best practice is by using Docker Compose. However, for beginner friend using the local host is beginner friendly and we can use it at that. The only disadvantage that this has is once you close your browser or you close the container on your Docker, the workflow that you created will automatically be scraped. For that, we can also upload it on GitHub if you do not want that. Now, the Docker Compose is a bit complex to set up. So today we'll be going with the terminal one. This, as soon as you open the localhost 5678, we are presented with this page. Enter the basic details. And you are inside n8n. This is what we look at every time we will open n8n. This is known as the canvas. This grid that you see is known as the canvas. Now, before moving to workflows, let us understand a few basic terms. Now we know n8n allows us to build workflows visually. Now, what is a workflow? A workflow is basically a sequence of steps where data flows. Each workflow is made up of nodes. There are two different types of nodes. One is the trigger node, another is the action node. For trigger node, there are different types of triggers that we have. One is one we can trigger manually, or there's an event, we can schedule it. There are different types of trigger nodes. They are basically the starting line. A workflow always starts with a trigger. Everything else reacts to the trigger. Next, we have the action nodes. Action nodes are basically doers. They will be the ones that will be performing the task for us. Now we'll move on we'll start building our first basic workflow. The best way to learn is to see data move. So we'll build a simple workflow that generates some fake data. For that, we'll use the customer data store. This is a helper node that n8n has provided to us for practice. As you can see, we have an operation where we can get all people or we can get one person. When we get one person and execute the step, the output is a single person. If we want to get all people, and we can also set a limit. Let's say the limit to be 3. When we execute this step, we get 3 different people. And if we want it to return all the people, then we can also execute that step and we get all the people. Now, there is an important thing to notice here. n8n always returns the data in the form of an array. This, let me just get one person. This is an array which contains one object or one item. Whether it be for all people also, it will return an array of multiple objects. This is a JSON object. Also, it gives us three different ways in which we can view our data. As you can see over here, we have three things. One is JSON, which I've already shown. Next, we have table. It is the most simplest one where we see things in the form of rows and columns. This is similar to Excel. This we use when we want to quickly understand what data are we dealing with. Next, we have the schema view. Now, this just shows us the structure of the data. It tells us what fields exist and what type of data do they hold. The most important one is the JSON one. Now, n8n works with JSON views behind the scenes. When we say data flows between nodes, the data is flowing as a list of JSON objects. So this is everything. Now let us. This is what it looks like. This is the trigger node that has added by default for us. The lightning sign that you see beside the trigger node, it shows us that this is a trigger node. When we build very big workflows, sometimes the trigger may not be very obvious to us. So the lightning bolt shows us that this is our trigger node. Now, next we have not only pulled some data, but we have also seen how the different views the different types in which n8n shows us the data. Now, now let's say we don't actually want all customers. Maybe we only care about customers from a particular country or with a particular ID. So that's where the filter node comes in. It has automatically connected itself to the customer data store because it was our previous node. Now, let us filter it in terms of the ID. So we can simply drag and drop. This is very simple in n8n. Now, one thing that you will notice here is the ID is a number. It is stored in the form of a string. This is the JSON format. So we can convert it into number. Or as you can see, we have an option to convert types where required. Since n8n already provides this, I will be using this. Now, let us filter it by ID where we will only keep the people whose ID number is greater than this. So we go to number is greater than. As you can see, you can manipulate a lot of different objects. Right now we are going with number. E4. Then we execute the step. As you can see, only two people. There are two objects whose ID number is greater than the one we provided. This is the JSON view. This is what our workflow looks like right now. We have fetched our data. We have filtered our data. Now, what if we want to make some changes to our data? What if we want to transform our data? For that, we'll use the edit fields. Now, we have an ID, we have a name. Let's say we want to also have a field that shows us ID and name together. So let us add the field, which is ID name. Its value, again drag and drop, which is our ID. Next, we want to show the name. So again, drag and drop. Let me put a space. This looks good. So if we execute the step, we get a new field ID name, which is a combination of the ID and the name. Now we can show other input fields as well. Now we execute the step. As you can see, we can see all the different fields. We can also select which fields we need to show or not, all except, let's say, ID and name. The ID and name get deleted, and now we are left with these. Similarly, we can choose which fields not to show. Now let's just do all. So now we have transformed the data as well. This is useful when we want to clean our output instead of giving everything to the next output. This is what our workflow looks like. Now we can fetch, filter, and format. Now let us move on to conditionals. I'll use the if branch, if node. Just let us bring a if node here. And connect it to the customer data store. Here we filter in the same manner as we did for the filter node. We take the ID, we convert the type. Number is greater than. As you can see, we get the same two data items that we did for filter. Now the difference between filter and if is that for filter we get only the filtered data set. For if we get both the true and false, the true branch will show us the data items that met our condition, and the false branch will show which we do not. So on each branch now we can apply a different logic. Let us imagine a simple scenario. We have customers where the people with ID number 4 and 5 are VIP customers, and the remaining are standard. To our VIP customers, we want to provide a discount of 20%, whereas for standard users, we only want to provide a discount of 10%. So again, we use the edit field nodes. We add a status. The value will be VIP. We want to include all our other input fields and execute the step. So we have status as VIP. Next, we move on to the false branch, again, and edit fields and status. Here we'll keep it as standard and then execute the step, include other input fields. We have the all three data items that did not meet our condition with the status standard. Now this workflow does not look very clean. One simple way we can tidy up our workflow is this. Now we have two different branches. We got two different branches from the if node. We the two different operations, one for the true branch and one for the false branch. Now our data is now flowing in two separate directions. If we stop here, if you wanted to handle VIP customers differently and standard users differently, we would be doing this. But since we do not want that, let us merge these. Let us put a merge node here. This merge node can be seen as a funnel where multiple branches go in, but only a single branch comes out. We will add this. Let us make this output be input 2. Okay, come on. This to be input 1. We go into the merge node. We see we will execute our workflow all at once. So we get the VIP customers, the standard customers, and we want to append them and execute the step. As soon as we execute the steps, we get a list of the original 5 data objects, but now everyone has a status of standard or VIP. This is what the merge node does. Next, I'll add a file node. Let us convert this to CSV. We have our data. Let us keep it. Let us tidy up our workflow. Now, once I execute this workflow, we'll get a CSV file that will consist of all our fields. Let us execute our workflow. When we go into the convert CSV file, we have an output. If you put on view, we see our ID, name, email with our statuses. These were the 5 data items that we received from our customers data store that we filtered. Then we made some transformations on it. Then we merged it, and then we have converted into file. This is usually how workflows end. Now, what if we wanted to do this every day at, let's suppose, 9 a.m.? Let us automate this workflow rather than manually triggering it every time. So let us schedule it. Let me delete this trigger. On a workflow, we can have different triggers, but since this is only one workflow, we will have only one trigger. One workflow has one trigger, but if we have different workflows that are connected, we can have different triggers as well. Let us schedule this one. So on a schedule, for our workflow, since we want to see it in real time, I will be setting it as minutes. In 1 minute, we want our trigger to be executed. Let us connect these. Since we are not technically using this anymore, but let us keep that now for right now. Execute workflow. Now, as you can see, everything is working properly. Now, this will not work until and unless we publish our workflow. Publish means basically going into a deployment mode. So let us publish this and see how it behaves in real time. We'll go into executions. This work now, let us wait for just 1 minute and see if it does execute it in 1 minute. Here, this is the executions block. Executions block is only available after you publish it. We can also have evaluations, but for evaluations, we'll have to have an evaluation node. Since we have not put in an evaluation node, it will show us nothing. This is our executions block. Here, once we put our workflows into deployment, we can see its history. We can see what kind of output it created. We can see the structure of the workflow that was there when we executed the step. This is basically our history. Now, once we put, as you can see, this has been deployed in real time by itself. It took us 24 minutes to milliseconds to execute this workflow. And this is our workflow that was executed in real time. Now, this was our input. Now, if you want our output, we can again view or download it. This happens even if I close my browser. Now, since I'm using a temporary terminal, I'll not close my browser and show that it is working behind the scenes as well. But it will keep doing this as long as I wanted to. Now, let us just unpublish this one. We come back to our editor. Now, let us look at some HTTP requests. Does have a trigger node. Let us make it in a new workflow. Now, here I'll just do the basics that we can also make API calls using our n8n. I'll be using a simple get function and I'll be showing it using the board API documentation by App Brewery. I'll just simply use a get. I'll just fetch some data. Let us connect that. Let's. As you can see, we get an output which is planter tree. What this API basically does, it gives you activities that you can do if you're bored. So one, we have got a planter tree. If we execute it again, sit in the dark, listen to your favorite music, whatever. Now, if we want to have some query parameters, we can do that as well. Let's say we want the type to be education. We want to do something educational while we are getting bored. So learn to fold a paper crane, execute work. Go to a nail salon, we keep getting our requests back. So this is a basic implementation of HTTP. It works similarly for other requests as well, like post, put, delete. These requests work the same way conceptually, only the intent changes. Now let us talk about AI agents. Whenever we think about automation, the we automatically imagine an AI agent. Now, what is an AI agent? An AI agent is basically an AI that does not just answer question and sit quietly. It can remember things, it can make decisions, and also take actions. So we can implement an AI agent as well. We go to AI, then we go to an AI agent. This is what our AI agent looks like. For AI agent, we will be using the message trigger, which we can also get from here. Now, an AI agent has three main parts. First is the model, second is the memory, and third is the tool. The model is actually what generates the response. Memory allows the AI to remember the previous messages, have some context. And third is the tool. Tool actually allows AI agent to take actions. Without tool, it is simply an AI model. So let us first execute our chat node. For an AI agent, let us add a chat model. Let's go with OpenAI chat model. For this, we'll need an credentials, the API key to. Now, since this meeting is getting recorded, I'll just stop for a second to enter my API key. Just give me a minute.
And maybe some of you, I think maybe Sumit, you and maybe Vishu, maybe you have not generated a API key for yourself. You can try it out, and in case if you face any challenges, you can reach out to me or Trisha.
Sure, sure. Sure, sir.
So I've created an API key. If you want to create your own API key, you can just open your docs and n8n documentation provides a step by step how you can create your own API key. So it is pretty straightforward. Also, n8n has their own very good documentation where we can also search for our different nodes and what are the functionalities. Let's suppose for filter node, we have if node. There are different ways of filtering. What if we go for the if node? So you can see what we can do with it. There are very There are very detailed templates as well. The documentation is very well made. So we have our API key. We are not making any more changes to it. We can come here. As you can see, we have our model here. On chat. Let us type a message. Hello. As you can see, the AI agent has employed the model. It has replied with hello, how can I assist you today? Now, first I'm going to show you what happens when we do not engage memory. As you can see that I fed it my name. It replied, but the very next text when I ask it what is my name, it does not know because it does not have memory. It does not have context of the previous messages. It treats each new message as a completely new chat. So let us give it memory. Now there are different types of memories that we can use. For now, we'll use a simple memory. As you can see, it has already taken the session ID automatically. The context window length is 5, which means that it can remember 5 previous messages. We can decrease or increase it. Right now, we're keeping it at as it is. Now, as soon as we have made changes to a node, you can see that the node structure changes. Now, when we are making large workflows, we can clearly identify which nodes we have made changes to and execute them in isolation from the entire workflow. We don't want to run large workflows again and again if we make small changes to nodes. So let me just execute this node. It works properly. Now let us type the same message again. Now it has replied that now it remembers that the context that I fed it. Now let us engage a tool. Let us go with the Gmail tool. Again, for Gmail, you will have to enter the credentials. I'll be entering in a minute. But before that, you can also automate this to send mail to a particular person at a particular time. Right now, I'll make the chat model decide whom to send the mail, what should be the subject of the mail, and what will be the message of the mail. Let us change the email type to text rather than HTML. Now, let me just enter my credentials. Again, to get your own credentials, you can also you can follow the documentation provided by n8n. Since n8n is not verified by Gmail, it will give you a security message, but we will continue with it. Now connection is successful. Account has been created. This is my Gmail account. Everything has been done for this tool. Without a tool, an AI agent is basically just a chat model. It cannot do anything. Now, as you can see, when I executed this node, the tool model was not executed. It depends upon the AI model whether or not to engage a tool. This is very useful when we give multiple tools to an AI agent. It will not run all of its tool. It will not execute all of its tool, even when it is not required. It will only engage a tool if it is required. Now, when we go into the AI agent, we see and go into the options, we have a system message. Now, right now, it says that you are a helpful assistant. We'll change it to say that you are a helpful mail assistant. And usually, when we want the system message, we go to for production, we'll go to and LLM and ask it to give us a good system message. You can use ChatGPT or any other LLM of your choice. Right now, because we are just doing this for a demo, we are not going to go into LLM and ask for a system message. We are just going to make it ourselves, keep the emails concise and professional. Always show a draft before sending. This is what our system message is. Let us execute the node again. Now let us try sending an email. Send an email to my manager informing that the product is ready. I'll be using my own email address because obviously I don't want it to be sent to someone else. Now it has sent me a draft because in the system message, I asked it explicitly to send me a draft before sending the mail to someone else. The subject product ready for review. This is the output. For it, output will be in form of HTML, but we want it to be in the form of text. Let me add my manager's name as well. Manager name. Let me make it Trisha only. Mhm. Now, when we ask it to send the mail, it has engaged the Gmail tool and also sent the mail. Let me just go into my inbox and see. I have received the mail that was sent via n8n. Now, this is the mail. The only problem with it is this. We can remove this as well. When we go into our Gmail tool, we go to our options. Every node has a list of options that we can manipulate. There is also settings that we can change. We can manipulate a lot of things using this. Now I want to append the n8n. We do not want it to be shown, so let us do false, and that's it. Let's run the node again. Let me send this mail again. Send the same mail again. Let us give it a minute. Oh, it has not sent it. Again, it is engaging the chat model and then the tool, and the mail is sent. We have the mail here, and it no longer says that it was sent by n8n. No one is ever going to figure out that this mail was automatically sent to someone else. Now, whenever if we want to do this, we don't want to come again and again to our n8n workflow. What if we wanted to do this every day to our manager at 9 o'clock, telling them about our updates? So what we can do is we can go to our chat. We can make the chat publicly available. Um, Let us keep. We can also change this message, but let us keep it like this. Let us execute the note again. Okay. Let's publish this. We have a link over here that we can use. The link has been copied. Now, this is our actual workflow that we made over here in real time that we can just access via link. Again, if I ask it to send a mail, I want to send a mail. It Since we have provided proper context, it is not going to send a mail with unknown information. It has again sent the mail. I have received the mail, and this is the mail. We can use the chat option now without going into our n8n workflow after we have published it. Let us go back to our workflow and into executions. Again, we can see the history. This are our test cases that we made. We can see the workflow during that time. And this is after it has been published. This was our workflow. This was our input. This was our output. We can see what was the input, what was the output, how much time it took to execute, what were the actions taken. We can see everything from here. Let us also unpublish this one. This is all we have today for n8n. So to wrap up, today you saw what an n8n is, why we use Docker installation, how data flows through workflows, how logic branches and merges, how AI agents work, and how we can use API to send requests. Basically, in n8n, once you understand how data flows, everything is just a variation of the same idea.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Trisha. Anything else that you want to add?
No, I'm good.
But I think we can open the forum as well if there
For
are
any
any
other questions,
questions. Yeah, yeah.
One question, Krisha. So,
yeah.
what is the image being used for n8n?
What is the
Image, Docker image. Can you ping the image name?
the Docker image that is being used is the official n8n image only. Docker automatically pulls it. If we want to use the console option, there we will have to define what the image we want to pull. Again, there also we use the official n8n image only.
Okay, n8n. It is n8n, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other question?
And is there a way, I mean, I haven't explored n8n yet. So, is there a way we can sequence the calls that are being made to the tools? So let's say there are three tools configured to the agent, right? So I want to execute in a sequence the tools so that the final tool will actually take the input from other two tools and decide an outcome.
You can do that. For that, either you write a very descriptive text message, or if you want every time the tools to be automated in the same sequence, you can go to the system message and ask it. For example, use the Gmail tool first and then the Sheets tool. We can sequence it. Also, we can use the workflow to be created in such a way so that the tools are in sequence only.
Okay.
Yeah. And I believe, Vishu, you can also bring modularity. I think one of the workflow that we we demonstrated a few weeks back, there we spoke about that we wanted to build multiple agents, and we'll bring a orchestration layer, and each agent will have some explicit task to do. So for example, this particular case, we were talking about that we are building the document intelligence system, right? Wherein the first step could be that whenever the document is uploaded, you validate it, whether it is in a particular format, or it has the data that it has, it is holding, whether it is in the right format, or it should not have junk. I mean, that kind of validation. So it is that particular agent will work in, it will be a complete solution as such, right? And the next one where you are extracting some data, or maybe the next one where you are making sure that the data is also conforming to some standards and so on, right? So we can build multiple agents, and then you can build an orchestration layer where you can bring all these agents together. Vishu.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Sir. Yep. So one more question. Sorry. So once we have the workflow or the agent ready, right, Trisha? So how do we deploy this? So do we need again the n8n running at the background, or suppose if I build a agent workflow using a Python code, I need Python to be in the mission and running.
If
Similarly, do we
you
need anything for n8n?
if you want only the workflow to be published, you can do that the same way I showed you. If you want it to be integrated in some other system, then we will probably require the script about we want the code that was being used for that system, we want to integrate it within it. One more thing that I wanted to share that I forgot about is how to deploy it via GitHub.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
this
even that will help. Yep, yep.
So let's see, this is our workflow. The simplest way is just download it. You have got your file. You can go into your GitHub. You can just add that file, upload file. Now this file has been added over here. In n8n, we have an option to import files. Whenever I go to here, we cannot, but let me go to a new workflow. I can import from some other file. Let us take this. Could not import file. Workflow JSON. Here is our workflow that we made over there. We can simply import it. Since we are using a temporary terminal where our workflows get deleted as soon as we stop our container, this is a very simple way to have it. Also, if we are not using a temporary terminal and storing it, downloading the file and putting in it in GitHub is much better than storing it in our local database. This is the way we can do it. There are other ways to publish it on GitHub as well, but this is the most simplest one. Did I clear your
Trisha,
doubt?
uh, y- Trisha, I just want to know that can you please put some light on the limitations as well, if how what kind of models we can integrate with this, and what are those which are not we will not be able to integrate it.
This workflow was simply made to kind of understand how we can get started with n8n. There are a lot of possibilities about what workflows we can integrate. As for what workflows we cannot integrate, I'm not really sure about what workflows we cannot integrate, because it depends on the code that you have and what kind of workflow you want to want to integrate into your system.
Yeah.
And it is very versatile. You can make a lot of workflows from it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so, Sumit, that question is very interesting because I think somewhere when we are doing a comparison between different tools to build agentic, I think that question needs to be responded. So maybe what
Ye-
we can do, we can park this question for now because a parallel comparison has not been drawn yet. And uh, of course, you can figure it out theoretically. You can always Google it, a GPT. It is not an issue. But I think we want to bring a perspective where we want to talk about what is how we are implementing, right? So we can park this particular part as of now, and we can come back to you maybe in the next conversation or maybe in the follow-up conversation which we will have in the days to come. Sumit.
Sure, sir, no issues.
But yeah, but it's important one. What kind of things that we cannot do, and we also need to figure it out how it can be done in other tools. So it's a good one. And in case if you come across something of that sort where you are finding it difficult in implementing certain things in your organization, please let us know as well. That will also
Sure,
help us, and we can probably we can together figure out if there is a alternative solution. Sumit?
sure, sure.
Sorry, one more ask question, Trisha. So we did configure few of the credentials, right? Might be for Gmail or OpenAI key. So now, as of now, they are stored in n8n local temporary whatever place. So is there? I mean, did we get a chance, or is there a place we can read these values from external vault or secrets?
So what I did is, actually I have it stored in my secret API keys, whatever I have. I usually, when we
Okay.
input it in n8n, this is a temporary one, but when you download it using the console, uh, when you do that, it will, the API's keys are automatically stored. You do not have to enter the values again and again. What I have actually done is I've stored it in a .env file, and
Hmm.
from where I just pick up the values, because we usually need the same credentials on different places. So I have done that, but that is my personal choice.
But that flexibility is present in n8n, right?
Flexibility
Yeah.
is present in n8n.
Okay.
Once you save your credentials, you don't have to input it again and again. This I have opened a temporary one, so here I had to enter it from scratch.
Sure, got that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Uh, Harsh, Aditya, Sumit, Lakshya, any other question that you have?
No, sir, not right now.
Okay. Sure, sure. I think so. This is what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring modules that can be explained in brief. It will not take the usual 90 or 120 minutes that the way we have been working out in the previous sessions. So it is going to be a short, brief one. Most of the times 1 hour. Right. We want to make sure that you're getting the practical exposure on agentic. Right. So I think with that we can conclude. Thank you so much, Trisha, for bringing this up. It was very enriching. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
thanks,
thank you
Krishna.
so much. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, please go ahead, Bishop. You were saying something.
No, no, I'm just saying her thanks. This was useful.
And
Yeah,
thank you so much.
yeah. So we are available just in case any one of you are trying and there is any kind of issue. Please drop in a message on the WhatsApp group. And Harsh, I'll be releasing the previous session by the end of the day today.
Okay,
And
sure.
this one too.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. You have a good rest of the Sunday. Thanks. Bye.
Bye everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.